G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope you are super well. Today's video is about me sharing how I do what I do in this room. And that is made up of cameras, lenses, lights, and sound. And all these different aspects. As a content creator, we try and make this as high quality and as efficient as possible. Sound is something that as human beings, we need it to be of quite a high quality. We will actually put up with lower quality video than we will lower quality sound. And because of the situation that I'm in here, this is a temporary space that I use just for a couple of hours each week, and otherwise I have to pack everything up and put it away. So I try to make it as frictionless as possible. And part of that is setting up an XLR microphone and everything that goes with it. That just takes too much time. So instead, right now, I am talking to the camera using RF, using radio frequencies. This is a wireless connection. And this microphone you see here, its main usage is to actually hold the microphone that I'm really using. And what mic do I use in this situation? And I have been for a fair amount of time. It's this mic right here. And if we touch it, we will get some mic noise. Of course, this is a very large room and it does have a lot of echo in it, which is being partially removed by AI. But I can tell you that this mic does a great job of capturing the sound in this difficult space. Also, you will see me wearing a mic like this under my clothes or under my t-shirt. It's either clipped there or held there by the magnet that you see on the other side. This is the DJI MIC 2 kit. And I have to say, this gear is exceptional. If you've ever had anything in the DJI ecosystem, whether it's a drone, the pocket cameras like the Pocket 3, the 4D Ronin, all of this technology is absolutely magnificent. It allows us as content creators to get what we need to do done. What I love about this kit is, and it comes in this gorgeous metal box here. It's so easy to use. You have a 2 microphone kit here, which means you can mic up 2 people. You can have up to something like 200 to 300 meters of range. Obviously, that's when there's no interference and no steel or concrete walls in the way. We also have adapters in here for USB-C, which means you can plug it into your laptop or other USB-C devices. And we even have the adapter for the older iPhone Lightning connector. But this case is not just for holding things, it's also for charging. You put your devices in here and they are fully charged. And with this case, you can get up to 18 hours of usage. Once any of the parts of this, of course, the receiver is over there on the camera and the other mic is here. And this is, and if I pull it out, it'll start working. This is the second mic. They automatically turn themselves on when you open the case, which is also just super cool. Now, what's also great about this kit is that it actually connects to some other DJI devices. For example, if you want to connect it to the Action Cam, the latest Action Cam, or the Pocket 3, they connect wirelessly, which is again creating this ecosystem for creators that makes what we do oh so simple. The Pocket 3 is an unbelievable device, which I reviewed in 2023 on this channel, and I continue to use it. You just might not notice that I'm using it behind the scenes. These mics connect to that seamlessly. One thing I have observed about using the DJI MIC 2 is that it is of a higher quality than the previous mics that I was using. I have to do almost zero processing of my audio in this very difficult environment to have great sound. That was not the case for the previous mic. Considering that I've now got the images to a place where I am very, very happy, I'm very happy with the way that looks. Once I finally got that down pat, the next step for me was getting the audio as high quality as possible in order to have the minimum amount of post-production. As a content creator, you want to create what you do as quickly as possible with the least amount of friction, and I have found this kit is working very, very well. I'm at a point now where the light and the images and the sound are so good that very little is spent on post-production, and most of the time can be spent on the message and being creative with the edit. So this is absolutely fantastic. Now, some of the other features that you find with this microphone is you can choose to have a safety track. So you've got stereo, which means one is higher and one is lower. So that's a great thing to do if you're worried about your levels. But this microphone also has 32-bit float, which also helps us keep the levels under control, which is absolutely critical. The worst thing you can have is clipping, distorting sound, and then even worse than that is you have to go back and re-record. And as I said, the adapters in the case, they allow me to connect to my iPhone, but also, of course, you can connect to Android phones as well. It's just such a universal kit all in here. And as well, we have the capacity to charge, and you charge this whole kit simply by using the USB-C port on the back here. Seamless, easy, integrated, fast, always ready to go. I love it. And industrial design, feels good. It's tough. Another thing I love about the receiver is the fact that it has a touch screen as well as this command wheel or command dial that allows, even with this device that's so tiny, it's similar in size to the microphones itself. And yes, it makes very easy to get to all of the different settings, of which there are a multitude of settings, whether it's the decibels, whether it's what you're connecting to. And one thing that can happen when you're playing with these microphones and you're clipping them to yourself or moving them to different positions is you can accidentally press the buttons. There are very small buttons on these microphones. One thing that I think is unique to the DJI versus their major competition is that there is haptic feedback when some of these processes happen, like you're turning noise reduction on or off, or you're muting the microphone, or you're beginning recording. Haptic feedback is fantastic. And speaking about recording, these microphones, for example, if you simply want to have them record, they can. Each one can record internally. There is 8 gigabytes of storage in there, which can give you up to 14 hours of recording. More than enough for any given day on a set. And this is at 48 kilohertz, 24-bit. And because of that recording, it means that you can actually use the transmitters simply as a recorder. And of course, they are as well a backup for your day's recording. So if something happens to the audio track as it's sent to the camera, or something happens with the actual files, if you choose to record separately on the transmitters, then you have backup audio. And that's super cool. And as I said, these microphones are also compatible with the Action 5, the Action 4 camera, and the Pocket 3. And to me, that level of integration is magnificent. One of the biggest problems with action cameras is how do you get audio to them? They're often fixed in difficult places to reach, or they're simply housed in a way that you can't plug things in. The fact that DJI are using the wireless technology that we have here to connect to these devices, just making the whole ecosystem more useful. So these really are very universal tools. Not only can I use it for a situation like this, but I use it in the field, I use it for interviews, and now I can use it with these action cams and the pocket cam. I did own the original DJI mic as well and used that for a number of years, but I love the advancements that have come with the DJI mic too. Next, I want to talk about the lighting, and I've been so lucky to work with these lights here from iFootage. Today, in order to make this shot look balanced, I've got a fill-in light on the right, but I do have the iFootage on the left of me. Now, this is the second light that I wanted to show you. These lights from iFootage are super high quality, continuous lights. They are built to an absolutely beautiful standard. They are very, very powerful. They throw so much light. The intention of this light is to match the sun, and that is from a quality perspective. It's also a very bright light running at 400 watts. Now, part of the situation that I've had here is that I'm trying to balance the outside light without putting film on the windows, because this is part of the house that I live in. And we don't want to darken the windows for the other 150 hours of the week that I'm not shooting in here. So the best way for me to do that is have lights that are powerful enough to roughly equalize. Now, it's a creative choice from me that some parts of the background are blown out, and I actually like it. I do get in my comments, some people don't, but I do. I like to see that, yes, the bright sun is shining outside. Isn't that nice? And thus this light that's known as the Anglerfish 400 BNS. And I just wanted to note here that this light has won some Red Dot Design Awards. It's so well built, and the capacity to dial up, say, 5,500 kelvins to roughly get us to daylight. That can vary slightly, I think, especially based on even the color of the paint on the walls. For example, I have the sun streaming in just over here and it's bouncing all over the place. So the color temperature in here might vary slightly. It also comes with this separate control box. So that means you can put it somewhere else or hang it off the stand, and that allows you to access color temperatures and brightness and various other features via this box. I've been using these lights for something like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 months, and I have to say they are performing just brilliantly. They do have an internal fan because 400 watts is very, very bright, but I never hear that fan. I can see it, but I can't hear it. And that's impressive within itself. The control box here, it does have DMX support if you want to get into that type of ecosystem. And of course, the control box here allows you access to the fireworks and the flash and the static TV and the broken light bulb effects that we can get. The CRI is 98 and the TLCI is 99. So the color accuracy of these lights is absolutely spectacular. And this light at 1 meter pumps out a massive 12,500 lux at full power. And another aspect that I love about this light is that we can control it with the Bluetooth app. And that's brilliant. It allows us to turn it up and down if we need to remotely. And then next, it's cameras. How do we get the most efficient workflow we can possibly get and make it as fast as possible to go from filming to computer to edit to render to upload to you? And how do we do that as quickly as possible? And one of the best ways that I have found to do it is to use external SSD drives attached to your camera. And this is one way I get quick turnaround. For example, in this setup, I'm pretty much always shooting in something like 4 to 6K, and it's always with my 50mm lens. And that allows me to get all the latitude that I need without having 2 big files. And when shooting here on the Panasonic Lumix S5IIs, this camera allows me to have hard drive recording. The advantage of hard drive recording is it doesn't get hot on the inside of the camera, and that means that the camera will stay cooler for longer regardless of the situation versus a camera that has a card within. The other thing I love about using a drive like this is that you just grab this and you plug it into your computer like a hard drive, and you can literally edit straight from this. If you want to, you could leave your files on here and never even download them. It is just simply an SSD hard drive. It just allows your workflow to be so fast, it's more affordable, and that heat dissipation on the exterior is fantastic. And you can just simply swap them out as you see fit. Also, what's an advantage here is a camera like the Lumix S5IIs, it only has SD cards, and getting large SD cards is quite expensive, and of course they are much slower to download from the slower SD card than it is from this USB-C connector. Allows us to get much faster speeds than we would find with SD cards. Only the most expensive SD cards are fast, nowhere near this fast, and large. I do believe they do make 2 terabyte SD cards, but I just would simply never want to invest in a 2 terabyte SD card versus a 2 terabyte SSD. My experience with SD cards is, well, they fail when they feel like it, and my experience with SSDs is they are much, much more robust. Now, some people might talk about size and all those sorts of things. It's not really applicable in the use cases that this is aimed for, which is more of a production level. What's also interesting about this is not only can you shoot video to it, but you can shoot stills. And I believe, for example, Novachips make even larger versions. I'm pretty sure there's a 4 terabyte version.
And another aspect that I love of the Novachips SSD is the fact that it has these screw connectors to ensure that the plug will not come out of the drive when you're in the field.
And how do you turn around videos quickly when you're in an environment that is not designed to be a studio, where you have great mics, you have great cameras, and you make them as frictionless as possible, and you have great lighting, which can match this crazy sun-filled world that we live in? And if you are interested in any of these products, there are links below. All right, this is my setup, and if you have any questions, I'd love to hear more about it in the comments below. It's been so good to see you, and if this is your first time here, I would love to see you again, so please do subscribe, please share, and please like.